Hi everyone, so today I'm going to teach you how to make a dragon scale bracelet. It looks something like this. Focus camera. See, it's kind of like dragon scales. This is an anklet, so it's really big. And then this is a thinner version. And then this is the thickest one I've made. See how it's kind of like dragon scales? So today I'm going to teach you how to make this. Now, some of my bracelets are my own design. This one isn't my own design. I don't know who really came up with it, if it was Rainbow Loom or some person, but I didn't come up with this design. I'm just going to teach you how to make it. So first you're going to need a loom. Lots of my designs are hook only, but this one isn't. You're going to also need a hook. You're going to need a couple C-clips to finish it off, because even the really thin one needs at least 2. You could finish it off with 1 if you wanted, but it just wouldn't lay quite as nice. Whereas, like this big one I made, it used 5 C-clips to finish it off. And this skinnier one used 3. Then you can use whatever color you want. Now, if you'll notice, the colors I'm going to choose, pink, purple, green. That's because this one was a really thick one I made. Today I'm going to try to make a thinner one because it'll be easier to show you. And I wanted a thinner version of this colors, so I'm going to make the same colors again. Pink, green, and purple. In case you can't tell, those are 3 of my favorite colors. First, you're going to need to take whatever color you want for your first row. You're going to need to take some of them. You decide how wide you want it. Because the more bands you use, the wider it gets. Like this one is how many wide. How many pegs. You don't usually count bands in this one because you count 1, 2. Oh, I don't remember how to tell. But you count pegs, so you use more pegs. Like this one didn't use very many. This one used like 3 or 4. And this one used like 6 or something. And this one I think I used like 10 pegs or something. So this depends on how wide your bracelet you want it to be. So I'm going to go for about a normal width one. Maybe about the width of this one. And then so you guys just take your loom. Take your band. And the first row you're going to crisscross so that they don't fall apart. So you're going to lay it there. And then crisscross it like that. Focus camera. See how there's an X in the middle? That's so it won't fall apart. And then you're going to skip this little gap right here. You can do this. Here, I'll make it easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. You can do this if you have a normal loom where it comes apart, you can just use 1 row. If you have other kind of loom that doesn't come apart, you can use the whole thing. It's just easier with 1 row. And it'll probably be easier for me to show you. So like that. And then take another band, and I lay it here. All this first row has to be crisscross, has to be figure 8'd crisscross like this. But after the first row, you won't have to crisscross them anymore. And then you do this again. Remember, skip the 1 gap. You do this how many you want. Think that might be just good for me. For my width, I don't want it too thick. So then you're going to go back in and lay more bands on here. 1 second. Hey, this is good. Yeah, like that. And you lay one here. See, for 1 row will use 3 bands. The next row will use 2, then 3, and then 2. So it'll be different numbers for each row. It won't always be the same. And then you're going to go and pull the band of the bottom one. You see how you have 2 on this peg? Right there. You pull the bottom one up and over. And then you'll pull the bottom one on the next peg up and over. And then up and over. There, like that. Now you only have you should only have 1 band on each peg. If I missed one, so you gotta do one right here in the middle. I missed that one, sometimes I had still 2. So you should only have 1 band on these. Now, you said there are all these extras in the back, but you should only really have 1 actual loop on each peg. And then I'm gonna move on to purple. You can keep doing the same color if you want, but I'm just gonna switch colors. Now this row is gonna be 3. Remember, you don't need to crisscross them anymore. Only the first row is to keep it from falling apart. If you don't do it, it won't work. But the rest of them you don't have to crisscross. See, I laid those 3. Focus camera. Then I'm going to pull the bottom ones up and over, up and over, up and over, up and over. Oh, in fact, what happens? See how my all came off? Just put it back on. So you're going to let go of let go of the purple, or the top one, the newest one, because that's one least likely to cause problems. You just put all your bands back on. If you actually pull all of them off, just put them back on. Don't freak out. Just pull them back on and it'll be good. And keep pulling the bottom ones up and over the top. Like this. See, bottom band, up, over, top. Like that. 1 second. I had to put around my one band. See this what happens? This band didn't quite get twisted right, so it started coming apart on me. There. Now that's better. Like that. And now, our next row is going to be your row that is less bands. Not sure how, depending on how wide you make your bracelet. Mine's going to be 2 and then 3. So if you do like longer, it's just your row with the less bands. Where you don't go all the way to the end. You loop the bottom loop up and over. Up and over. Up and over. And up and over. Now I'm going to throw my third color, green, into the mix. And this is going to be my row with 3 again. So I put one on this one here. And one here. And then one more down here. And then again, the bottom band on my peg. There should be 2 pegs. There should never be more than 2 bands per peg at a time. So if there's going to be like 3, that means you didn't loop one in the previous row. Which mine looks pretty good. And then after you loop, you always loop the bottom one and leave the top one alone. Because otherwise the top one will just fall off because there's a band sitting there. You loop the top one up and over. The bottom one up and over. And you just keep looping. So in this case, I loop the purple and I leave the green alone. Now, you just gotta, every once in a while, push everything down to make room for the new bands. And then this will be a row with less bands. So I need 2 for this row. And then you pull the bottom ones up and over. You only pull the bottom ones up and over on the pegs with 2 bands. So you still have my bottom on the second row, where there's 2 here. There's only 1 band on this peg and on this peg. So you just leave those pegs alone and don't do anything with them for these rows. There's no bands on being added to them. If you just looped this up and off, it would just fall apart. You guys leave these ones alone when you're not doing the rows that go all the way across. Now I'm back to pink. And you put 1, 2, remember you skip your little gap in the middles. 3. And then you loop the bottom ones up and over. And up and over. And you push it down. And you can push it down as you go or after, but I like pushing it down as I go usually. And then up and over and push it down. Remember, grab the green band and leave the pink one alone. The pink one is the top one. Whatever color you're using. But always pull the bottom one and leave the top one alone. And always make sure you loop it up and off the same side. Like, I'm working it up and off this side so you can see it. Like, normally I'd work it this way so I could see it. But see, this way it all goes off the same side. You always want to loop it off the same side. If you pull on it a little bit, you can see that dragon scale pattern's already forming. So then you take, this is your less band row. Which mine has 2. And then you just loop your bottom one up and over, which is hard to explain right now because they're all my bands that I'm looping and looping over are pink. But just loop the bottom one, the one that was on from the last row. The one you just added, don't touch it. Just leave it alone. And now I'm on to purple. This is my row with the more bands. 1 second. There. My one band just got out of place a little bit, so I just had to fix it. The one band went below the other, which would have made the purple the bottom, which would not have worked. So now I got my bands. Bottom one, up and over. Bottom one, up and over. Push it down. Bottom one, up and over. Push down. Bottom one, up and over. Bottom one, up and over. And bottom one, up and over. There. And if you see, if you tell it, you can see that the dragon scale pattern is already starting to form, which means you're doing it right. Because if it starts looking weird, it means you did something wrong, and I don't know what you did. But if you do this like this, it means you did it right. So I'm going to go and do the rest of my bracelet and come back to it finish. If you need to watch these steps again, just rewind the video and watch them again. I'll be right back with my finished bracelet to show you how to finish it. So I'm back, and now I've got it where it's all done. See? Now I'm going to show you how to finish it. So first you're going to start at one end, doesn't matter which, focus camera, and then take the end band, pull it off, and put it onto the next peg. Right there, like that. And then you go on the other end, take this band off this end peg, and put it on the next one right next to it. So now we only have 4 pegs we're working with. Now take one of the 2 middle ones, doesn't matter which, pull the band off that one, and put it on the other one. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I just moved them over to this one because that's what I felt like doing. And now for this one, this width of my bracelet, I'm going to need 3 C-clips. But it depends on how many you need, how wide you made your bracelet, as to how many C-clips you'll need. Because, as you can see, this one I made used 3. This one used 5. And this one used 2. So it just depends on how wide you made your bracelet. If you follow my pattern, my design like this, or my bracelet like this, you made the same width, then you'll need 3. If you made it wider, you'll need more. If you need it skinnier, you'll need less. It just depends on it. Then you take each of these little bands, things on there, groups of 2 bands on each of these 3 pegs that we have, and you're going to put a C-clip on them. You're going to C-clip it. You're going to C-clip those 2 bands together, and if you want, you can pull them off the peg. Sometimes it's easier to keep them on the peg, I think. So I'm going to leave mine on the peg, but you can pull them off if you want, because they will not fall apart. At least they're not supposed to. And then you go and you do the same with the other ones. It's easier if I hold it over here. Like that. And then one more. One more. Come on. Like that. And now you can definitely pull it off because they're all hooked. And you can set your loom piece aside, or your whole loom, or whatever you used, and you have the bracelet. Now you need to go to this end and you need to figure out this. You need to figure this out. Because here's the middle one. So you're going to go down here and take your middle C-clip and clip it. Like that. Once you figure out the middle and the end of the parts, it'll be a little bit easier. And you just go and you find the next one. It's just the bands you crisscrossed. If you look really close, see there's going to be 3 of these bands that are just all shriveled weird. If you pull them apart, you can find that they're the crisscross ones you put first. And then you're going to take your C-clip that lines up with it and clip it. Might be a little confusing, but you'll figure it out. See this little band right here? If you pull that out, that turns out to be our first bands we put on. And they line up just perfect with the C-clips. So you just clip the C-clip right on there. And it'll look something, one second. My one band got a little weird. One second. There we go. My one band just got on loop for myself, around my C-clip band. So you just clip the C-clips onto the crisscross pink bands we first put on way back at the beginning of our bracelet. And then this should look something along the lines of that. So, if you like Rainbow Loom bracelets, give this a thumbs up. Comment down below other kinds of designs that are like common that you'd like me to try to teach you how to make, and I'll try it. And subscribe. Bye!